Coach O really preaches one team, one heartbeat. And when we do that and we hear the heartbeat and we pound on our chests and suiting up to get ready to go out, man, he's emotional.
You can actually feel your heartbeat just racing.
Hey, get that baby pumping, let's go! Get that horn going! Get that horn going!
It's definitely a crazy experience, and there's no words to really, match the feeling of it.
It's a fun experience to have, man. It's just, like I said, it's us syncing up and get ready to go out to war.
The best side of football! Down the shoe, Tigers going to war! 1, 2, 3!
Well, we can't do an hour bowl game show without talking about Joe Burrow, right? Right. So the control room went through and they picked out 5 of the best Joe Burrow plays of the season. So we're going to take a look back through, starting with number 5. There's some incredible Joe Burrow moments all year, but this is one of them. Big time scramble against Auburn. Big time. Oh,
nice.
And
a big dude can take a hit, Stench.
He's such a good scrambler. I mean, he's just a tough guy. Man, you got to be tough to get up from that shot right there, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you what, we knew he could run it. We knew he could throw it. But now we knew that he could take a hit.
All right, how about this one? Number 4. Just a casual little pass to himself in the SEC championship game, no less.
Completes everything. He even completes passes to himself. This is when you knew, if you're a Georgia person, this is going to be a long night. When you deflect a pass at the line of scrimmage, the quarterback catches it, and then he ends up running down the field for a first down.
What more can we do? Number 3, first touchdown pass against Georgia Southern. This should have been just the tone setter of, all right, Joe Burrow's for real. Coach, do you like this one?
Well, you talk about threading the needle. Look at this, guys. It's an RPO. He comes off the RPO. There's no place to put it except about a 3-inch window. And where does he put it? In the 3-inch window.
Yeah, right in there. That's what you like to see. Number 2, how about this nice pass to Justin Jefferson against Texas? Not only in a big-time matchup, but a big-time play, Stinch.
Under duress, too, which this seems to be the common theme, right? Working the pocket, almost like a jump pass.
Well, he steps up, and he steps up in the pocket, Stench, when they're bringing pressure in his face.
Yeah.
That's bravery right there, my friend.
We talk about Joe Burrow's athleticism, how he can scramble, how he uses his feet. I don't think there's a better example than this play right here. And he ends up throwing it for 71 yards to Justin Jefferson.
What a great way to kind of culminate the season, right, Stench? He does this, a 70-yard pass to Justin Jefferson after scrambling and rolling about 30, 40 yards before he throws it. Unbelievable.
It's amazing. And I'm sure some of that will be on display against Oklahoma as well. At least LSU fans are hoping maybe he even takes it up a notch. I don't know how he can do that, because I think Twitter is going to explode if Joe Burrow does more of what he did in the SEC championship game. But when it comes to his performance in a big-time game like this, we know the goal is for them to win a national championship. If you're Joe Burrow, how dialed in are you right now? How much are you thinking about that Oklahoma game? What's your preparation like, Coach?
Well, I've been around quarterbacks that just come off of winning the Heisman Trophy, which he's going to do, and it's going to be, he's focused. I mean, there's one thing you can say about this young man all year long. He's a coach's son. He's been around the game. He grew up around the game. He's got a level of focus that's really second to none. You can't play this productive in this type of environment. Think about the big games that he's delivered, throughout the whole year. Unless you're a focused individual, singularly focused on the job at hand, you can't be this productive. I don't expect to see anything different from him in the college football playoff.
He gave the SEC championship game ball back to the head coach.
Yeah.
He said, give it to me after the national championship. I mean, this guy, I don't think he's looking past the semifinal. I don't think he's looking past the playoff game. I think he is dialed in. He's got a singular purpose. He might win the Heisman. I think he should. We all think it will happen. The guy's going to win the championship.
I knew he was ready when Coach O said, his cell phone broke and his parents said, we'll get you a new one. He was like, no, it's okay. I have a game to play. What college student doesn't want their cell phone attached to them? Joe Burrow is one of them. Big time matchup coming up against Oklahoma in a couple of weeks. Of course, Joe Burrow was a transfer quarterback coming from Ohio State to LSU. We've got a couple of other former SEC players that we will see coming up in the postseason. Shea Patterson being one of them. He began his career at Ole Miss, of course, transferred to Michigan. He and the Wolverines, of course, will take on Alabama in the VRBO Citrus Bowl. James Lockhart, he's a starter at Baylor, but before then, he was out in College Station playing for the Aggies at Texas A&M. Now he and the Bears will head to the All-State Sugar Bowl, where they will take on Georgia. Some more familiar faces. Chris Williamson. He spent 2 years down in Gainesville at Florida before he headed up to Minnesota, transferring to the Golden Gophers. They will face Auburn in the Outback Bowl. We talked about what kind of matchup that was going to be in the trenches. That will certainly be a good one as well. And of course, Jalen Hurts. He spent 3 years at Alabama. He earned SEC Offensive Player of the Year honors as a freshman. The Heisman Trophy finalists, of course, will lead Oklahoma against LSU in the CFP semis.
Extension, now we have a familiar face in Jalen Hurts that can run it and throw it. How does LSU go about defending this dude?
You think LSU's excited to get to see this guy again? You kidding me? He's 3-0 versus LSU, but now he's in Oklahoma. Let's see him on a quarterback-designed run. This is a gap scheme, and so what you're going to get is a down block, and a round block. And what I like so much about Jalen Hurts is that he runs the football as a quarterback like a running back would. He hits the hole the way he should, and he's patient enough to set up his blocks. Watch as it unfolds. So you see inside, down, and around. Look at this hole that's created.
Yeah, hats on everybody, too.
No doubt. And part of it's a function of the pass threat, and their formations. It blows out the box. So they have these light boxes, meaning not as many defenders in there to stop the run. And now you have your quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Look at the size of this hole. This is an unoccupied potential blocker. Just shoot right up the gap. It ends up collapsing. He finishes his runs physically. And because of that, you always have to defend Oklahoma with 2 runners in the backfield. Even with an empty backfield set, they still have a runner. What if it's a called pass, though? How many times have we seen Jalen Hurts
scramble
as an intended passer, right? So this time they're facing Oklahoma State, and it's against man coverage. So you let it unfold just a little bit. As the defenders turn their backs to the line of scrimmage, like right here, you see this. Well, if I'm Jalen Hurts, what's he going to do, Coach? Here's an escape lane. And not only that, look at all the open grass that he now has. So it's not just reading defenses as a passer. Where am I going to throw the football? It's, hey, as soon as I get my receivers released, I have an opportunity. If they're in man, if I have an escape lane and you're not disciplined in your pass rush, number one, will make you pay. He's done it time and time again. And then, of course, finally, you decide to play zone against him. Maybe you want to have eyes in the offensive backfield. This time versus Baylor. Pretty good defense in their own right. Jalen Hurts in the offensive backfield. Here he is at quarterback. Now watch him. As he escapes, what do they have? What do they have right here? Well, they've got eyes, right?
Zone coverage.
Zone
coverage. In your zone coverage.
And because of that, he says, okay, that's fine. If I take off and run, I've got would-be defenders that can make the play. Know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the ball to one of the best playmakers behind their backs. They don't see this. They're looking at the runner. Look at that rope that Jalen Hurts just unleashed downfield to CeeDee Lamb. That guy is a weapon. He's going to make plays. Might not be enough versus LSU, but it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, LSU's got some decision to make on exactly how they want to play this game.
There's no doubt.
All right, y'all are talking about Jalen Hurts. We have to talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts' old team. Of course, Alabama coming off of a tough loss against Auburn, but they've got a bowl game to get ready for. They've called a players-only meeting to talk about, I guess, only the players know. So in honor of that, we have kicked Coach Chizik off the set. He's gone. I'm sorry, Coach. Players only. So I'm going to hang out.
Coach was a player. I mean, we could draft him back in.
But now he's a coach. Now he can't be in the room.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just going to pretend like I was even decently athletic enough to play a college sport. You were, though. So you kind of have an idea of maybe what went down in this players-only meeting. What do you think was said in the Alabama locker room?
Well, here's what we know for a fact about what Alabama's been able to do and build under Nick Saban is that they have expectations, and they aren't just forced upon them. It's the players that build these expectations, that create these expectations. And because of that, when you look at the way Alabama finished their season, you have to know that there's a certain level of pride that they had coming into the year that's got to be bruised, that's got to be damaged. You just lost to Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Context doesn't matter. You think about the players that came before you. These guys, these elite players at Alabama, they had to wait their turn behind a guy that was ahead of them. that was better than them, or maybe was as good as them but got there first. But because of that locker room, it actually set its own bar. And when you think about the guys that came before you, you have to figure out a way, are you going to finish this season strong? Now, it's not as if they finished it the way that they wanted to. There have been injuries. There's been a lot of youth, there's no doubt. You lose the Iron Bowl, and now you have an opportunity to try to right the ship. There's a lot of football yet to be played for a lot of the players, especially the young ones that had to play this season. They want to get it right. They need to get it right in this bowl game. That's the message they're going to communicate. Right, Coach? As a player?
I used to be a player.
That's right.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right, Stench. You know what? You never know what's going on in some of these player-only meetings. Typically at Alabama, they're going to go in there and they're going to have a message, and those players are going to buy in.
Can't go out like this.
No,
I like
can't do it.
I like it. Did you ever find out what happened in the players-only meeting?
I had maybe a couple moles in there that kind of maybe gave me a little information.
Well, we know you heard every word of our players-only meeting, so we'll have to have our real players-only meeting out in the hallway after the show. But we've got more coming up next on SEC Now, this bowl special edition. We're going to talk about some of the things that happen when you play in the postseason, the swag, what you like about it. We'll be right back.